Alright, y'all, it's me, Majora T. Out here today to finalize the rankings. The Kanto Pokemon tier list will be complete once and for all. We have only the final evolutions and some legendary Pokemon, and maybe some reassessment to do. The scale is love and hate, and we'll take kind of a deep dive after all is done and said. Subscribe if you're new, if you enjoy these kind of videos, and let's get straight to it. First we have Venusaur, the evolved form of Bulbasaur. Do I love Venusaur? No, but I like him. I think he's a solid Soar, and he's right up there with Snorlax. I think he has potential to be used in kind of like a toxic way, toxic Giga Drain and all that. The deep voice Venusaur is kind of funny, but he's not my preferred final form to have on the team. I just don't really think to use one of the starters that way. I kind of want a heavy hitter, and Venusaur rarely feels like that, with Solar Beam being kind of that move, and you know, taking 2 turns to set up is not ideal. Even in between Solar Beam and, let's say, Giga Drain, I'm really not sure what else is super powerful as a grass type move. I guess you do get Sludge Bomb, but poison typing is not that great in these early gens for attack set. He is tanky relatively, but I think of weaknesses. I think of flying, I think of fire. And so I don't really want a Venusaur as kind of the heavy hitter on my team, sadly. But it's good. I still like him. I don't think he's a bad final form. There are much worse to come. So he's likable. Charizard's my favorite. I love Charizard. Come on. He's gotta be above Gyarados, but he's right neck and neck. Because the mythical fire-breathing dragon monster, how can you not love that? That's just definition badass. I think fire types typically are kind of some of these more impressive ones, and Charizard is no exception. The fact he got 2 Mega Evolutions in X and Y, whereas the other guy's got 1, you know, that's saying something. We have Charizard X and Charizard Y. They know. Everybody knows. Charizard's the beast. He's the GOAT. He's awesome. And that's why that Pokemon card, the Charizard, was always so sought after. I never had one, but I always wanted one. When I was a kid, I was jealous of some friends. I think I have a Venusaur, and I don't think I have the Blastoise in the original set of Pokemon cards. But Charizard, oh gosh, spirit Pokemon, right there with Gyarados. Gyarados like almost tops him. He's still kind of like a mythical, legendary pseudo type, like a common creature. Where I think Charizard gets the edge is he's the full package. You know, I get it. Like, you know, Gyarados is more eel-like. Can the eel come out and play? Yes, he can. But can the dragon come out and burn the town to cinders? Absolutely. It's incredible. I love Charizard. I love him. He's the perfect culmination of Charmander into this big monster that's epic and awesome. The sound effect in the games, just Charizard, man. Charizard. Give me a Charizard. You give me an option of those starters, I want Charmander all the way, because I know what he's becoming. It's not only the struggle that makes him, it's also what the struggle makes him. This beast. I do love Blastoise, for sure. The hydro cannons and all that. More than Wartortle? This design is actually making me think that. And my first Pokemon game was Red, I want to say. But I feel like I had a Squirtle first. But I had Blue as well. But anyways, Blastoise just kind of feels like a natural pick. He's a heavy hitter. He's a surfer. And he's another deep voice one. Him and Venusaur have that weird element about them. I think I'm comfortable to put Blastoise over Wartortle, just because I think it's a logical next step. in the evolution line. It just kind of comes naturally. So we got 2 starters in the top 3. Or final forms for starters. This is going to be the video for displacement. A lot of these guys will get displaced because we saved the best for last. Hopefully. I can't think of anyone that might not be a best, but we'll see. Butterfree. Okay, I'm neutral about Butterfree. I really don't have any feelings. I would not take a Butterfree past like Gym 2, which kind of makes me dislike him actually a little bit. Just very weak, and I don't like a sleep powder or one that's like a primary method of doing well is status effects. Crobat's a little bit of an exception for that, but yeah, he's just kind of in the Raticate uselessness pile. I think I like him more than Raticate just for having typing that's not just normal. It's abnormal. No, it's fine. I like Beedrill a little more, but again, he's just not very useful after a certain point. So I kind of don't like Beedrill for that reason. Yeah, I think he'd be top of dislike for me. Vespiquen will come and do this job better in later gens. Pidgeot, though, I do like Pidgeot, but not as much as Fearow. He's not really got the best moves as I see it. Like, I guess you could give some normal typing moves, but I just think Drill Peck suits bird type so much more. It's just such a heavy hitting move compared to what? Like, I guess maybe he gets Sky Attack, but again, 2-turn move. Aesthetically, though, very pleasing. You know, strong, independent bird, but the moves don't back it up. I have him under Electabuzz for sure, under these guys. I think right by Primeape is good positioning for Pidgeot. I think I have Primeape over him. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Nidoqueen. Ooh. Queen Slice. I'm kind of neutral about her. I'm not really going to put her on the team. I do appreciate her being a little more tanky and still kind of getting the same movesets. Your Poison Jab and your Earthquake. She's a heavy hitter and can take a punch. I think just like design-wise, she's a little dull to me. I appreciate the dinosaur look, but like kind of like the ingrained brassiere or bra just doesn't really do it for me. She almost has Kangaskhan vibes, but I don't think she's as cool as Kangaskhan, as ferocious. I kind of appreciate some ferocity from the monsters. I will say I like her more than some of these, so I'm happy to put her with Lapras. Useful, just not really a go-to for me. The king is here. It's Nidoking. So cool. Who doesn't love Nidoking? This is a monster if I ever saw one, and one that's like well deserved on the team. A stab Earthquaker, the Poison Jab, and it's just kind of the look. It all suits him so well. Now, do I find him more lovable than some of these other guys? I'm not sure. I think of him as kind of just a classic pick, which arguably Blastoise would be that for me too. Whereas I think like Scyther, Pinsir, Muck, Slowbro, these guys have like some unique appeal. Charizard even has unique appeal. Blastoise to an extent, like the cannons on the back. Nidoking, I can't really tell you exactly what it is, but I do love him, and I used to use him all the time. But I think recently that's kind of slowed down to the point where I think I appreciate Kabuto more. Vileplume. I rank Vileplume above Venusaur, but in terms of utility, it's just a tad slow and weak, and that's unfortunate. So I'm not really sure. Maybe Pokemon Snap is what makes him more likable for me. I do like him. I just don't really use him a lot. I don't like getting Oddish up there. Gloom is kind of dumb, so Poliwrath. I don't think about Poliwrath at all. He's very neutral to me. And the idea of, like, what is he? Is he a toad? A fighting toad? I'm very lost at what Poliwrath is, but I don't dislike him, especially for usefulness. You know, water fighting. I don't really, you know, again, just kind of underused for me. I just think of him as a dynamic puncher for some reason, for like some of the gyms that he's fought in, maybe in gold and silver. But I'm not really stoked to use Poliwrath. Alakazam is a heavy hitter that I don't really think a lot about because I think of him as kind of cheap. I think of him as like the most used on a lot of teams for being a fast, heavy-hitting psychic. And it almost takes some of the fun out for me. And I don't really think of him as a Pokemon. I think of him as like some magician or something. I don't really understand what he is. But I wouldn't put myself off from using him at all. I would be open to it, but I just think it would make runs too easy. I think you run some risk in some of these guys. With Alakazam, there is risk. Like, he's got low defense, but the speed being so high, that Psychic stab, Psychic being one of the strongest typings, strongest attacks in the game, just very consistent, lowering special defense. Alakazam's a beast. He's just a monster as well, which should make me like him more, but I think he's cheap, and I can't erase that from my head. So, he's just kind of high neutral for me, almost like him. Machamp, though? Oh, I dig Machamp. This guy is like super bodybuilder type. The 4 arms, you got the Goro thing going. Makes it worth the trade for sure. Freaking black belt here. Maybe my favorite of the fighters. Maybe. I wish Pinsir had a fighting type, a secondary fighting type. I don't really use him often because I don't have the opportunity to do trades. I mean, I do have a DS Lite, but I rarely have like 2 files going at the same time. So, I don't know. He's probably here with Kangaskhan for me. Probably above Kangaskhan, to be honest, especially in terms of usefulness. I think I'd like to use Machamp more often. I do love him. I dig him. I would love him on my team. So, yeah, I'll keep him up here. We can do some reorganizing later. Let's go to Victory Bell. Okay, I'm also kind of neutral on you. This is a decent place for you. Just, I don't know. I don't really go like, yeah, let's get Victory Bell on the team. But I don't dislike you either. I think you're pretty competent as a grass type here. I think your pre-evolutions are kind of dumb. The Weeping Bell, the Bellsprout, but you made your way to neutral. I wouldn't hate using you on the team. Golem. Smeagol. I kind of never use him, but what is he? Is he? You know, I don't know. I don't love Golem. I don't dislike him, but I rarely see him in playthroughs. I don't really see him on people's teams, and he's just kind of yeah, he's high defense, but like dying in 1 Surf or 1 Giga Drain is kind of whack. Ice Beam even, probably taking you out 1 shot. Nah, I can't really give it to him. I don't hate him though, design-wise he's fine. I think I put him over Starmie. Under Tentacruel, I guess. We'll come back to that later. Gengar though, I love Gengar. Gengar's a beast. He's just kind of, he knows he's got it. He's, if you flaunt it, if you got it, you know what I mean? My guy's smiling when you see him kind of on the battlefield. It's just big smile like me. I just cheesing. I would trade for the Gengar. Like, that would get me stoked. I gotta have him over Machamp for sure. Over Cubone though, God, I loved Cubone. This whole section's getting organized a little differently after this is all done and said. But man, I love Gengar. Just you know, and there's only 1 ghost in the 1st gen, so make them good, you know. And they did that. They did that across the board. Haunter, Ghastly, Gengar. That line is just dope. He really gives me the sense of like cursed ghost Pokemon, you know, after the grave, and one to really haunt you, like Haunter here. And they're all smiling. They know they're great. So I do wish in Gen 1, like Red, Blue, Yellow, that you had ghost moves that that actually did ghost damage, because Nightshade doesn't. Nightshade just does level damage, which beats the whole point of raising him. And then he's also weak to Psychic, but that's kind of alleviated in future gens, I guess I would say, because of, 1, the speed stat, 2, the stab attacks, and, you know, items and whatnot. Levitate, incredible, so. Okay. I'm a star. I tell myself that every day. I like I'm a star, but I think a little weak overall. And the one thing you'd hope with the rock typing is, oh, that would null the electricity damage, but nope, he's got to be groundwater for that. So, I don't know. But I do like a good fossil Pokemon. And I have to say, I really respect the Nautilus as a creature. But it doesn't make me want to pick Amistar. I don't know. Even Ammonite I like a little more design-wise. Amistar's just like, woo, look here. I like Ammonite more design-wise. But is he below Nidorino? I don't know. We'll see. Kabutops, though, he's got to be up there with Scyther. These guys go hand in hand. Do I like Kabutops more than Scyther? I feel like Kabutops gets kind of owned, maybe for being slow, a slow fossil. Scyther probably one-ups him, but man, design-wise, the kind of like hammerhead shark look is pretty solid. The claws on the side, he's kind of like an alien. It's just super cool. He's vicious. You don't want to have to take an attack from a Kabutops. That's kind of how I feel about it, but you usually won't have to because of your moveset. Defense is a little high, but again, HP is low, which is kind of weak. Scyther would get crushed though too, so it's not the best metric. We'll come back to that. Oh, we're on to the big baddies here. We got Aerodactyl. Who doesn't love Aerodactyl? That's a fossil Pokemon, a pterodactyl Pokemon. That's how you do it. That's kind of perfect. If I got a fossil for Aerodactyl, I would raise him for sure. Raise me an adamant Aerodactyl. Give him Choice Scarf or something. Stone Edge, Earthquake, some flying moves. Man, he's got it made. He will die to a Thunderbolt and an Ice Beam for sure, but man, if you can get him to survive, he's looking good. Articuno. I feel weird about some of the legendaries in the first gen. I don't really love some of them, like Articuno. I like a lot. He's probably one of the higher birds for me. But also kind of gives me like blue chicken vibes. I'm not really sure. But design-wise, I don't know. He's up there. He's high. Definitely higher than most of these guys. He would be higher than a Fearow for me. I like Articuno more than Fearow. I guess the Drill Peck too, I think. But he has the special stat. The Ice Beam, Ice typing is cool, I guess. So, Zapdos, though. I like Zapdos, but again, kind of like fried chicken this time. And I don't mean like the food. I mean like he just got zapped, right? A chicken that's zapped in the air. The Drill Peck is cool. The Thunderbolt's cool. The typing is so unique. I mean, Electric only has one weakness, Ground, and this makes him immune to the ground attacks. Kind of perfect, but I also feel kind of cheap using him. But he is my highest Electric in terms of like with the next closest being, I guess, Raichu. We'll come back to that. Maybe not. Moltres, though. I really like Moltres, but not enough to love him. See, we already have a Charizard. We have a Fire Flying type. That's cooler than the Fire Chicken. So, these are the 3 legendary chickens. And I don't go crazy using them, but I do like them enough. Dragonair. How did I miss Dragonair? I guess I didn't do him earlier. Well, come on. I love Dragonair. But I'm going to evolve him kind of knowingly, but design-wise, kind of perfect. The perfect serpent Pokemon, and I love a good Dratini. So Dragonair is even more majestic. Has kind of the Wartortle wings, which is awesome. I think I like Dratini. I love Dratini more. I like Dratini more than Dragonair, but I love both of them. So yeah. That's rare. That's fine. That's good where it's at. Dragonite, though. I love Dragonite. He's a favorite. Oh, come on. Like I said, I would go for that Dratini grind any day of the week to make the big boy over here, Mr. Hubba Bubba, Dragonite. Yeah, dude, come on. He's so OP. He's got killer attack. He's a tank. You know, Lance's Dragonites are formidable and kind of inspire you to want to raise one. It's just you get them so late in the game is kind of unfortunate. But I noticed in playing Gold Silver back, there's a couple opportunities to get Dratini. So one is in the game corner. One is in the Dragon's Den if you do the quiz questions right. And the other is just by fishing and surfing around that area. So it's more common than not. I think next playthrough for me, if I did Heart Gold Soul Silver again, I would get him in the game corner and start him earlier. But no, I dig him for sure. He's not higher than Gyarados for me, but it's close. I love my dragons, and these guys just do it for me. Alright, we got the last two, Mewtwo, rather, and Mew. So, I like Mewtwo, but I don't go crazy to use him. Again, I feel kind of cheap with the Psychic types in this game. He is a badass, but maybe just too badass for the game. To the point where I feel like I'd be breaking it if I played him. Design-wise, I like him more than the birds. All of the birds. 100%. And I have nostalgia for Mewtwo and the Mewtwo movie from back in the day. But I just, I don't love him. You get him so late that it's like, why bother using him? And I'm not a legendary type of guy. I like the common ones more. Mew would be an exception here, though. I like Mew more than Mewtwo. I think it's kind of fair. I think he's like, you know, I think of Metronome for Mew and Psychic, and I don't know, a couple weird ones like Leech Seed or something. Transform even. And he's cute. Mew's cute. Kind of like, this is what makes the legendary kind of exciting in the first game. It's kind of like the mythical aspect to it. With Mew, it's just kind of adorable. I don't really want to use him anyway. I kind of like the concept. There's 158 Pokemon, but Mew is 151. And what if you move the truck and you get Mew? Like, the mystery of Mew is so cool, and he's these little teas too. I kind of love Mew. I don't know. I kind of love Mew. This is a good spot for him. And with that, we ranked all 151 Pokemon. So I think we need a good long look at this and to determine if we've been accurate in our assessment. So I'm going to think about this. I think we should start from the bottom, work from the hatred. So last time I got pretty emotional about the hate line. And the theory was like, well, if I'd hate to have this guy in my team and I had to use him, then he belongs in hate. I think that's fair for most of them, maybe with an exception of Hypno. Hypno can be kind of like, I almost dislike you, but I really hate you because you suck. But I feel the problem with this is it's a little hypocritical because I'm saying with the other psychics, oh, they're cheap to use. Hypno's kind of the opposite problem. He's just whack to use. He's just impotent. You know, he's not useful. So I do kind of hate Hypno, but it's like kind of hate. I dislike him, but I kind of hate him. Farfetch'd, I kind of hate. No, I really hate Farfetch'd. Just because, again, such a useless, going nowhere Pokemon. See, I think I'm more offended by Farfetch'd. I guess you can use it for Fly, so he can be on the team for that. I don't know, maybe he gets pickup or something. If I needed a Fly HM slave, I think Farfetch'd may fit the bill. Get it? The bill? So he can move up to dislike, that's fine. Lickitung, I think I would hate to have Lickitung on the team, but not as much as Hypno. I think Hypno's more dislikable. See, Lickitung has stats, has normal moves, but is just disgusting. I wouldn't love to look at Lickitung every time. I think he'd just kind of bother me or make me kind of weirded out. And then Tangela. Tangela is so useless. Definitely belongs in bottom 2 with Sea King. I just think of it getting like that absorb, like 20 damage. Maybe Giga Drain if you're lucky. I guess you could teach a Solar Beam. But then I also look at it and go like, what are you? What are you? You're worms? I still don't get you. Worms with feet and eyes. You know, everyone got in such a tiff over Jinx, but, you know, Tangela, bro, is equally obnoxious. And then Sea King is no king of the sea, so it's like redundant, but I think Sea King is more usable than Tangela. Tangela is officially the most hated Pokemon of me in the 151, the OGs. There we go, we figured it out. Most hated. Now, how about dislike? So, Beedrill is still disliked for me. Nidorina female is neutral, I think. I think you go up. Weepinbell is disliked. I think you look stupid. Clefairy sucks. I don't like Clefairy. I dislike you, rather. Intensely, but you're cute enough to stay in the high dislike, or low dislike. Rattata is also kind of low dislike. I'd still use you, but, like, I just don't like you. Butterfree, I just don't like. Raticate, I put over Rattata. I still dislike you. I don't want to use you. Wigglytuff is dislikable. I do dislike you, probably more than Clefable. Wigglytuff just kind of looks like a punching bag. I don't really get excited by you, and I don't know. Oddish, kind of neutral. I don't really care about Oddish. Bellsprout, though, I think it's dumb. This is a monster. It's meant to be used. Abra, I dislike. I think Teleport's stupid, and that being your only move and expecting to train you and whatever. I should be the same logic for Magikarp technically. So I have to think through this. But you can teach Abra more stuff. You can teach him Psychic technically. It is an event running into an Abra. I'll move you up to neutral. I'm kind of neutral about you. Metapod, though, I dislike. Kakuna, I dislike. These guys are the hardened buddies. Nope. Caterpie and Weedle, don't really like you. Paris, also don't like you, but you're kind of cuter than these guys, so I'll give you a bump. I'll give you a bump above Butterfree. I would put you over Raticate if I didn't feel like you... Or Rattata, even, if I didn't feel like you were also useless and died easily. Goldeen, I really don't like, and yeah, Farfetch'd, I really don't like. So this is fine the way it is. Now we go to neutral. See, now the categories get kind of more filled, so it's a little tougher. I'm particularly neutral about Abra. I think just because the Abra line pisses me off. I have Alakazam here in high neutral. Kadabra made it to like. I like Kadabra. No, I don't. I don't like you. I don't like him more than Alakazam. I don't like him more than a lot of these guys. So let's move him like middle of the... Let's move him right there. Over Chansey for sure. Okay. But Abra can kind of stay low. Because I think Oddish I like more than Abra. Nidorino more than Abra. Poliwhirl goes lower because Poliwhirl is stupid. And just kind of... There are better water types at this point. Tentacool goes lower just for repetitiveness. I don't like seeing a lot of Tentacools. Good for EV training for special defense, but that's about it. I don't really want a Tentacool on my team. It's helpful you get Surf or whatever, but we can go now to Ditto. Yeah, I'm very neutral about Ditto. I don't really care. Drowsy's lower, though. Drowsy's probably below Abra. No, Drowsy's above Abra for having moves. But no, then he's below Abra for just those moves sucking, pound, and disable. In fact, I kind of dislike Drowsy. So I think he stays close to Hypno. That's fair. I don't intensely dislike Drowsy. In fact, I'd probably catch him and use him, but he can stay there. Bloom. Gloom and Doom, baby. No, I don't like Gloom's design. I think Gloom's stupid. The drool, the bulbousness. I actually like Oddish more than I like Gloom. And Ditto, for that matter. And Seal. Seal is dumb. Jigglypuff's cute. Jigglypuff can go above Seadra and Horsey. These guys are kind of They're fine. Staryu, Starmie definitely stay higher, as does Shelder and Cloyster. Jigglypuff may be over the Starfish line, though. I don't think the Starfish line is as memorable with Staryu just going, yeah, karate chop, yeah. No. Lower than Shelder, though. Shelder's cuter. Golem goes lower. I don't really like Golem that much. Tentacruel, below Shelder. Above Jigglypuff? I don't think so. I think below Golem, even at this point. Ponyta goes lower. I don't much care for Ponyta. Maybe more than a Jigglypuff. A Golduck goes lower. Golduck's kind of stupid. Not really usable either. Victory Bell goes lower. I'm kind of disappointed by you. In fact, I like Oddish more than you, interestingly enough. Coughing can stay this position. Maybe Shelter goes higher. Porygon goes a little higher, I think. Porygon is kind of a unique technological advancement. But I like Psyduck. I do. Psyduck is stupid and fun. Psyduck may go higher here, because I like Psyduck. So I'll put him bottom alike for now. He's been upgraded. As will Porygon. Porygon will go above Kadabra, I think. Kadabra being above Cloyster is weird. But Parasect is above Cloyster as well. Yeah, I do think I like Parasect more than Kadabra. Kadabra being over Rapidash, though. Rapidash? I think I like Rapidash less than Ponyta. Maybe less than Jigglypuff. Ponyta is a good design. I think Rapidash is a little too stylized on the flame hair. Execute goes lower. I don't much care for Execute. In fact, I'd probably put Parasect over you. Again, what is it? Eggs? You know? Probably under Coughing, for that matter. Under Ponyta. Under Jigglypuff, even. These bald eggs. This is a fine spot. Vulpix will go lower. Below Execute. As will Ekans will be higher. This image looks too perfect to change it. Yeah, Ekans and Jigglypuff there is good. Doduo will go lower. Below the Vulpix. As will Dodrio, because it's getting worse in my mind as I'm looking at it. They're Roadrunners, so it's fine, but they're mutated Roadrunners. Magnemite goes a little lower. I like Porygon more, but it's Magnet, so I'm like, eh. I'm lost by Magnemite. I like Magneton more. Pretty good Pokemon. Poliwrath's gonna go lower. Below Jigglypuff. Above Execute, though. And Ekans. Meowth. Meowth is above Poliwrath for character, I guess, and payday and pickup, but yeah, nah. Probably not going to put him in a party. I think I like Jigglypuff more here. Meowth gets an assist trophy, and Jigglypuff's a character. Chansey's got something, though. The nurse Pokemon. Like, that's cool. I appreciate that. I don't use them, but Persian goes lower. I don't really use Persian. In fact, I'd take a Poliwrath over a Persian. Nidoran female is kind of adorable. I'm not going to lie. Makes me reconsider where I put Nidorina even. She definitely goes above a lot of these guys. Because she's a decent design. Okay, and then Machop, a little fighting type. Nidoran female goes higher. Magneton's cooler, as is Porygon. And so is Chansey, even. But I'll take him over these three for sure. Golbat. I am kind of really neutral about Golbat. I'll take a lot of these guys over Golbat. I'll take a Porygon. In fact, Porygon's got to get up a little higher, I think. Graveler. It's plummeting. No. He's going... I don't really like Graveler that much. I do like him less than Golem. Zubat, I like. I'm going to move him up. I think he's a good Pokemon. I really like Crobat, but he's not on this list, so we'll deal with that next time. Now we have Krabby. Krabby's another one I like, so he'll go up. There's Pidgeotto here, is pretty neutral. Don't really, just kind of a weird inner step. Rhyhorn goes lower, under Porygon, under Nitter. Yeah. See, Rock Ground typing doesn't really do it for me. Dugong goes lower. Alakazam, I'm just very neutral on you. I'm more excited by a lot of these other monsters for the team, but I do like you more than Kadabra for sure. Probably over a Cloyster, not over a Parasect. I think there's more interesting things to be done with the Parasect. Pidgeotto goes lower though, for sure. Yeah, I think I like Porygon. Okay, so now we got some more big categories here. We got the like and the love. So let's reorganize like a bit. This is Porygon's great big move up here. I love this. So Porygon is cooler than Magmar for sure. Krabby, I like Krabby, but I'm not really doing much with him. And then Zubat kind of same and Psyduck kind of same. I think like this, they're not going to go much higher. Poliwag can probably come down a little bit. Definitely under Porygon, not under Magmar though. I think Magmar's kind of dumb. Poliwag's cute, so I give Poliwag the edge there. Porygon goes over Charmeleon and Ninetales. Why is Ninetales in front of Charmeleon? That doesn't make sense. Okay, Nidoqueen and Porygon. Lapras. See, I like Nidoqueen a little more here. I like Porygon more too. It's probably hard to use, but Lapras is very easy to use, kind of a beast. I feel like all three of these guys should be higher. I think we just start moving guys down. Diglett's below Charmeleon, as Dugtrio is not. Dugtrio is kind of higher. Venonat is cool, but not cooler than Dugtrio. Pikachu is going lower, under Charmeleon. Pidgey, I like Pidgey, but come on. He's going to be less cool than an Amistar, so Tauros can go a little higher. Kind of just doing this randomly at this point. I feel like a lot of the higher stuff's going to be fixed, though. Geodude is going to be lower. I like Geodude, he's fine. But he's not cooler than these guys, so... I like Sandshrew, though. Okay, Sandslash goes lower. Lower than Dugtrio, even, I think. And lower than Charmeleon. I think Charmeleon is still pretty sound, all things together. All things considered, but Sandslash... I don't know. He doesn't really make up for it with the moveset. But Dugtrio is just so good. So that's hard. Vaporeon is under Lapras, for sure. I think Lapras is just doing Vaporeon's job a little better. You know, Vaporeon's an HP master, but like Lapras though, Lapras is taking heads. The heads will roll with Lapras. So Jolteon is probably under Vaporeon for me. Yeah, and then but probably above Dugtrio. Even though Dugtrio's moves are better, Jolteon's a little cooler. Voltorb, I do appreciate a good Mimic Pokemon. But I gotta put Jolteon over you, and Dugtrio even. Charmeleon over Voltorb, for sure. Even Venonat over Voltorb. Voltorb's cool Mimic, and I like him, but I don't think he's gonna take any awards here. I do like him more than Pikachu, though. Mankey's coming down a bit. I like Mankey, but not more than a Zubat or a Psyduck, even. Pidgey should not be this high. Pidgey should be under Zubat. Okay. Now we have Pidgeot. It's going to be under a lot of these guys. But higher than a Venonat, I think. Okay, now it's kind of getting tough. Primeape? It's not as cool as Vaporeon. I'm sorry, Lapras. I'm confusing names. It's late. Primeape's going to be under the evolutions and under Charmeleon. Higher than Pidgeot, though. Higher than Pidgeot? Yeah. No. Lower than Venonat. Venonat's a little cool. I don't know. I kind of feel that way. Hitmonchan. It's going to be lower than the evolutions. But higher than a Dugtrio for being kind of unique with the moveset. Bruce Lee, in effect. They're just going to be side by side. I feel like the evolutions are still a little cooler than these fighting rejects. Oh, Mr. Mime. It's going to be under the evolutions for sure. Kingler is cooler than Vaporeon, but not as good as Lapras. Electabuzz. Oh boy. I like Electabuzz a lot. I don't know if I can move. I'm going to have to come back to these 5, but I know a lot of these guys are going under these 5. Onix is going under Mr. Mime. No, he's not. He's staying above Mr. Mime. Electabuzz stays here. Sandshrew I like. He's super cute, but come on. Be honest. Charmeleon. Charmeleon's better. I'll put him over Pidgeot, though, comfortably. Bulbasaur. This is tricky. I like Bulbasaur. I really do. But more than an Onix? Nope. I like Onix a little more. Even though Bulbasaur would destroy an Onix, Onix has just got that, like, Giga factor. I don't know. And I think Venusaur does too. If you gave me these 3 options in a trade, Vaporeon, Venusaur, or Jolteon, I think I take Venusaur. I think he goes above Vaporeon and above Kingler, but under Lapras. That's fair. Vileplume goes under Venusaur. Same flower almost. Vileplume just doesn't cut it. I really like Petal Dance. These two, you could change them on any different day, and I would say one or the other. I think I do like Vileplume a little more, though. I'm going to be honest. Snorlax is under Lapras for me, but above a lot of these guys. I do appreciate a good Snorlax. I'm not going to say I don't. Just the speed thing kills me. Venomoth is one I haven't fully appreciated lately, but I would like to. So he goes under Lapras, but above Snorlax. I think the bug, poison, psychic moth thing that's kind of formidable is interesting. Snorlax is just kind of a lazy guy like me. Machoke goes lower than Nidoqueen, lower than Porygon, and lower than Lapras, but above Venomoth. Because I still think he's formidable and I'd like him on my team. Arbok is lower than Nidoqueen, and lower than Porygon, and lower than Lapras, and lower than Machoke. But I think I'd take... No, I think I'd be more interested in the Venomoth over Arbok. I think I'd even take Snorlax over Arbok. Vileplume over Arbok? I think so. And Venusaur over Arbok. In fact, Evolution's over Arbok. But right here, the two Serpents can go together. That's fine. Ghastly, I love. I dig Ghastly. He can go up. Came out of my mouth, didn't it? Ammonite I kind of love too, I'm not going to lie. I think that these fossil guys kind of should be paired together. Nidoran male I do love. I love this guy. He's cute, he's adorable, he's here to wreak havoc, so he can go up. Grimer I like. Grimer's fine where he is, but actually he can move down a little bit. I think these guys get the coolness factor. Eevee I like. more than Pikachu for sure. So like this is fair to me, but I feel like I would like Porygon more. But I'd like to have an Eevee more than a Lapras. But Nidoqueen's cool. So like this is good placement for Eevee. I'm starting to break the trend here. Electabuzz is higher than Jinx. But Jinx is not... Oh, there's like holding hands. That's so cute. Jinx is not to be messed with. Yeah, I like Jinx. I don't dislike Jinx. I like Magikarp. Not more than a Grimer. But more than Machoke. I know where Magikarp is going. Slowpoke, I like. I think I like him less than the Magikarp, though. Above Machoke, for sure. Fearow, the drill peckin' picker. He's lower than Lapras, but he's cool. Raichu, Electabuzz. Now it's the battle of the electric non-legendaries. I gotta go Electabuzz over Raichu for sure. Over Jinx. I'm sorry, under Jinx. Under Nidoqueen. Under Porygon. But above Eevee. Above Eevee? Yeah, Raichu's gonna do some numbers. Eevee's gonna take a while, so I'm not like in love with Eevee. Electrode. It's gonna go down a lot, actually. I think he goes right here. He's under the Bulba line, but above some of the fighters and the Doug trio. I think he's next to the Doug trio. No. These guys are kicking him. I don't know. You could put him most of these places. I think he's under Charmeleon. I like Charmeleon a little more where he's going. Alright, now where are we going? We got Executor, the Executor. He's under Nidoqueen, under Porygon. Above Raichu, though. Flareon, I'm going to put under... I'm going to put him above Eevee, but just by one. I think I still like Raichu a little more, and for fire types, we're kind of covered. I do like Growlithe, but I'm looking at this list and I'm like, Eevee outclasses Growlithe a little bit. He's a nice, reliable dog. He's over Fearow, under Lapras. Spearow, kind of similar, and somehow Spearow and Fearow have become reunited. I do like Spearow design-wise a bit more than Fearow here. Rhydon. It's going to be next to Grimer. I don't much care for... I like Rhydon. I just don't... I don't know. I think I'd be more excited about where Grimer's going. But Rhydon on the team for sure. Haunter. Yeah, I like Haunter. But not more than... See, this is good because I have to really deliberate this one. I think I like Nidoqueen more. The more I look at Nidoqueen, the more I like her. She'll go above Electabuzz. Haunter should be above Executor, but below Porygon. But Porygon should be above Jinx. Electabuzz can be above Porygon. This is fine. Articuno. Man, the Ice Beam and Blizzard. It's just too late in the game for me to much care. I think Lapras gets the edge. Marowak, I kind of dig, but the design does bother me it just slightly with the eyeball being imbued with the skull. I think in previous gens it wasn't bad. I think we looked at a sprite for this. I'm not going to do it right now, but I don't know. Marowak under Electabuzz. Under Porygon. Under Jinx. Under Haunter. Under Executor. But above Raichu. That's fair. I kind of like Executor as the palm tree guy. Zapdos. I do really like Zapdos. I'm not going to lie. I really like Zapdos. Over Nidoqueen. I think so. Definitely over Electabuzz. Like, not definitely, but like, come on. I'm going to take Zapdos. Weezing. It's going to go down a bit. I think I take Nidoqueen over Weezing. I take Electabuzz over Weezing. I take Porygon over Weezing. I take... Now I'm kind of at a toss-up here. I've never really gone for Wheezing, but I'd be down. I think Executor is a little cooler, though. Executor is kind of higher. I don't know. I have raised an Executor before. I dig it. Jinx will be lower. I think Haunter is cooler than Jinx, now that I'm looking at it. And then this is good placement. I do think Wheezing gets the edge over Marowak there. Moltres goes down a bit. I think Moltres over Flareon, but not by much. And over Raichu. I'm gonna come on. If you're give me options of Moltres or Raichu, I'm taking Moltres. Moltres over Marowak. Moltres over Wheezing. Moltres over Jinx. Moltres over Haunter. But under Executor. And then Mewtwo is kind of a badass, so I like Mewtwo where he is. And this is solid. Now it's on to the loves. This is maybe the most important one, so let's do it. Let's see where we're at. I think a lot of these baby guys come down. So I think the first thing I notice is I think Cubone is the highest of the cuties, maybe next to Dratini. And then I do think Squirtle over Charmander as a starter. I'm not just saying that because, like, I feel like that's kind of my spirit choice as the water type, but I do think Squirtle is a better design. Gen 1 starter over Charmander. While the struggle is real with Charmander, it's just like you could ask me on a different day and I'd say either or. They're both great. They're both peak Pokemon design in my mind. And Squirtle does get the edge. I think Nidoran is a little common, so I like Ammonite more. I like Ghastly more, but I think I like Ghastly more than Ammonite, so this actually ended up working out. I think Nidoking goes under Ammonite almost. I think I like Nidoking, but I think I like him as much as I like Nidoqueen. But the Nidoran male starter is just like, oh, that's so awesome. Such a great design. I think I like Nidoqueen more than Nidoking, interestingly enough. Pinsir. Maybe I'm just biased because I've been using Pinsir in my run for Heart Gold. But Pinsir's kind of a beast. The Stag Beetle. He's more tanky as well. He's not like going to be so hit by rock types. The diversity of moveset, fighting, and bug, and that's about it. Scyther does get the wing attack. Come on, I like Scyther more. Who am I kidding? I like Kabuto more. Kabuto is just laser-eyed fossil Pokemon. That's so cool. It's so epic. And then Kabutops here too. I think Scyther over Kabutops. It's hard, but I think I would say Scyther over Kabutops. Ghastly is great, though. I do dig a Ghastly here. Mew over Scyther? I think so. Mew over Muck? I think so. Mew over Slowbro? I think so. Mew over Kangaskhan? I think so. Mew over Machamp? I think so. Mew over Gengar? I don't know. That's hard. Well, let me get these starter guys down a little lower. I think they can definitely go here for now. I think Muck goes underneath them. I think Slowbro goes underneath them. I like Charmander a little more. I think Slowbro goes a little lower, honestly. I think these guys get a coolness factor to them that outclasses Slowbro's derpiness. I do dig Slowbro's derpiness, but these guys just kind of exude aura. Muck, maybe more so than some of these guys. I'm digging Muck lately. I think more than Kangaskhan, too. Muck over Machamp? Maybe. Maybe. Machamp and Muck belong kind of side by side here. Gengar, though? Beast. Monster. Class. Bravado. I love Gengar so much. I think he goes over Dragonair. Dragonair's cool. I dig Dragonair. I think Mew over Dragonair. I think Muck over Dragonair. Dragonair's regal. I kind of like Dragonair. I don't know. That's really hard. Cubone goes lower. I think over Kangaskhan. But under Machamp. And then I think... I love Dratini. I really do. I think... these two belong right side by side. These are the best designed single evolution Pokemon in the whole game, for sure. You could ask me either way. Cubone or Dratini, they're both great. I think I wouldn't care which you put above the other. They're both great. Dratini's adorable. I love Dratini. But I think Cubone's more more full. But I like Dratini more. I really do. And he seems to keep wanting to go over Machamp, so I'm like, should I put him over Machamp? I think I'd be more excited to get a Dratini than a Machamp. A Cubone, I think not. But yeah, so this is good. But then Dragonair should go under Dratini. But a Muck, though? There's a Muck among us. Arcanine goes lower, I think. I think some of these guys... like, the Fire Dogs thing is cool. He's definitely a love. I love this guy, but I don't really use him a lot. I think he's there with Machamp. I'm going to be honest. Under Dragonair. Yeah, I see that. Aerodactyl over Wartortle. Over Blastoise. Blastoise kind of stays. I think Wartortle... yeah, it goes lower. I think Gengar over Wartortle. Maybe... no, I can't put Mew over Wartortle. I think Wartortle's so cool. I dig him. And then Gengar, maybe over Blastoise. Maybe. Depends on the day. But Blastoise belongs up there. And then Aerodactyl over Dragonite. Gosh, she's so cool. I love Aerodactyl. But more than Gyarados? I'm really looking at it. I can't say it is. And then Charizard is number one for me. Always and eternally. So would be a great 6 to run in my game, and you know, if I can only do one of the starters, I'd take Muck and put him in instead. So these are some of my favorite Pokemon. This has been an arduous process, but we've done it. We've figured it out, and I'm really happy to do it, and I'd be happy to do more. So I hope you enjoyed this series. I'd love to do some more. So thanks for watching. These are my Kanto Pokemon. I'll see you next time with Johto. So take care. Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.